Obviously there was a few different forecasts of what we could have today out there, and in the end the breeze never really properly kicked in. We had a nice little warm-up in kind of 8-9 knots when we first got out there, and then it softened before the start of the first race, so we spent quite a long time sat just waiting for the breeze and always missing the wind limit, and then eventually the breeze did come in from the south. We thought we were on for a good race, obviously managed to get most of the laps in, and then unfortunately both teams ended up coming off the foils, and the time limit came to the end. Yeah, so forecast tomorrow looks good at the minute. Expecting a slightly stronger breeze, which will be good. So hopefully we get the scheduled races in tomorrow, and perhaps even can catch up on the rest of the series.
Now I'm trying to find another one of these boys that I can chat to. Let's grab Cornish. Cornish, would you mind just chatting to me over here about what's going on today? What are you expecting from today's racing? Obviously yesterday, bit of a disappointment with a no result, but how do you kind of regroup and go again after a day like that?
Yeah, we're in for a different day today. Today's going to look a bit more like Thursday. Strong breeze, exciting, fast-paced racing. Obviously yesterday a bit disappointing. Felt like a win, but we didn't pick up the point. But you know, the boat's going well, everyone's performing well, vibe's good. Let's go again today.
Very positive. That's what we want to hear. I'm going to see if I can grab hold of Ben. Ben, can I have a second? I'm going to try once again not to fall in the water. Hang on a second. He's just going to go and put his stuff up at the top of the boat and then come back again. But you can see, like, every day the crowds get bigger and the crowds gather, because the atmosphere of this thing is really starting to capture the imagination. Here he is. He's just making his way through the assembled group, but I don't know if I'm going to get to him fast enough. Here we go. I'm going to walk and talk. Louis, come with me. Ben, just quickly. Today I caught up with one of our sailmakers, Cobb. There's Andy Curry, one of our backers. Caught up with one of our sailmakers, Cobb, who described today's conditions as fresh and frightening, which didn't fill me with the greatest sort of, feeling of calm. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, good. It's maybe not quite as much breeze as the other day, the first day of racing, where it's top end. But we'll see. It's going to be good fun. It's good. Sorry, it should be good action. Bit slightly flatter water, but top end breeze, we think. So let's see.
Difficult to watch yesterday for those of us watching on. What was it like being on the water yesterday and recording that no result? I feel like for those of us watching, it's harder than for you guys on board in some ways, because you understand this sport and you understand that can happen occasionally.
Yeah, it does happen. It's part of the sport. It's kind of frustrating, I'm sure, for the spectators as much as it is for the competitors, but unfortunately it happens from time to time. A little bit of a missed opportunity, but trick for us, it's good that we've shown we can compete well in those lighter conditions and just keep taking each race at a time.
And you got a reserve standing by here in George Russell, because he's here on the dock. Well, so if you needed it, at least you got it.
Well, we wind with the whole deal with this America's Cup is setting it up so really we can get Lewis and George on board when it really comes to crunch time. So that's what we're up to.
I'm not sure they're happy to hear that. Thanks so much. Go and jump on board, and thanks for your time. Good luck today, darling. So there you go. You can watch all the action on TNT Sports a little later on. And also don't forget, our analysis show kicks off on our INEOS Britannia YouTube channel also after the racing. Let's hope for a stellar day.
Strong gybe. We were tipping over the 21 knot wind limit at times, so the race took quite a bit of waiting around. A bit different to yesterday, waiting for breeze. Today, waiting for it to drop. Sadly, Luna Rossa had an issue in the first one, so they couldn't take part. They had an issue with their mainsail, had to do a sail swap. And then the second one, yeah, absolute thriller, I think. For the guys watching, pretty brutal for us on board. Felt like we really had a good stab at them in a couple of the moves, trying to get penalties on them. Didn't go our way, sadly, but we were really in that race until we crossed the line. Yeah, I think the way it's shaping up, there's so little in these boat performance. It's going to probably go the full length this, and yeah, it's all about just executing what we know we can. Go out tomorrow, clean slate, try and pick up a couple of points.
Welcome to the Dock Walk today, brought to you by Ainslie and Ainslie, powering this INEOS Britannia America's Cup team. Alongside me is Ian Williams, our start coach and our rules advisor, and also we've got Giles Scott, our sailing team manager. So I just want to start with you, Ian, and just explain yesterday, because everyone is up in arms about what happened with these umpire decisions yesterday. My phone is littered with text messages talking about it. So just explain what happened if they didn't see it yesterday out on the racecourse, which created all this furore.
Well, we had a few very close incidents with Luna Rossa. I'd say there were three situations where they definitely were at risk, is how we describe it, of getting a penalty. Unfortunately for us, the umpires decided that risk wasn't enough and didn't give them a penalty in any of those three incidents.
Okay, so that has created a talking point, and with that talking point, you've been to the umpires and asked them to explain and justify their position. How did that conversation go?
Oh, it went well. It's not really a formal thing, but we're lucky in our sport. We have a very good relationship with the umpires. We can sit down and talk to them. They're open any time to talk about these things. So we had a pretty candid exchange of views. I gave them our perspective. They let me know how they saw things. Probably, if we had all the incidents again, I think Luna Rossa may well have got a penalty in at least one of those incidents. But they're learning all the time about what the boats are capable of. It's not that obvious what the boats are capable of, and they need to learn that. And we're of course learning their perspective as well. And so really, I've just come back and talked to the guys about what the umpire's perspective is and what we anticipate they would adjudicate going forward.
This is a really interesting point, Gybe, because it's all very well to have a perspective or a protocol or rules in place in theory, but in practice, when you're hooning around at 52 odd knots, what's the reality of that on board the boat?
Well, yeah, this is the difficulty with it. The umpires view things from a TV screen and a computer screen, and obviously the perspective's a little differently when you're hooning around with adrenaline pumping with yachts that are on edge and in close quarters. But I think for today, the big thing is that we've had a good look at it. We understand the umpire's perspective. We know where we stand on it, and with that knowledge, we'll be in a better place to make sure we put the yacht in the right spot to get the call go our way today.
And that is a key thing, isn't it? Being able to move on. It's a bit like in a tennis match. You've got to move on from the point that went behind you and crack on with the next shot. I mean, how do you do that overnight to regroup and come out stronger the next day?
Yeah, for sure. You could talk about these sorts of incidents till the cows come home, but it's done. It's over. It didn't go our way. As Ian said, we've caught up with the umpires. We know where they stand on it, and we know how to deal with the situation going forward. And that's kind of all that matters. And today we got 2 races ahead of us. It's going to be awesome racing. Conditions are amazing again. Hopefully no delays. And we just have to come out swinging at them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, chaps. Interesting to see what happens out there today. I'm going to try and track down Freddie. Oh, here he is. Freds, can I have a quick word? Now, here's someone who knows how to dust themselves down and get ready again for the action that follows the next day. And Fred, you've had to do that because yesterday, bit disappointing with the umpires' decisions that didn't go our way, but still come out of it 2-2. What's the feeling today?
The feeling's upbeat, you're looking at the score. We always knew it was going to be close, but more than anything, we're looking at the performance of the boat, and the performance of the boat is good. The guys have debriefed pretty solidly from yesterday. I'm sure you've just spoken to Ian, Giles, about all of that, so the lads are in a good mindset. My lads, the cyclors, are absolutely pinging, as always. So we're going to go out there and drill it, and we're ready to go.
What's going to be happening on that intercoms that you've got going on with your cyclors today? What messaging are you going to be sending?
It's light-hearted until it's not. We have a real nice mindset in the group that we keep things very relaxed until 5 minutes before the start gun goes, and then we turn it on, and for the next 25 minutes, I just couldn't be more proud of the effort the boys are putting in and how well we're working together, and we see ourselves as a point of difference. We know that if we do a really good job, we can move the sails more, make the boat go faster at the key moments, recognise those key moments, and that's what we're about today in 15 knots.
And most importantly, from an aesthetic perspective, he's got his war paint on. He is ready to go. Okay, we're looking forward to a beautiful day of racing out on the Barcelona waters today. Catch it all on TNT Sports, and don't forget, on INEOS Britannia YouTube channel later on, there'll be a deep, brief analysis show. We'll see you for more action tomorrow.
We are now in the new age of America's Cup racing. We are not floating, we're flying. The new AC-75 racing boat will reach 60 miles an hour with no engine, travelling up to 4 times the speed of the wind. Lift is the same force a plane uses under its wings to take off and maintain flight. We want to foil because pushing a boat through water is harder than through air. So how do we get the boat up in the air and out of the water? We use exactly the same technology as an aircraft wing. Just as an aircraft wing will lift a plane up off the ground, the foils of an America's Cup boat will lift it out of the water. The foils of our America's Cup boat are more accurately called hydrofoils because they work in the water. The secret to both of them is the shape. Aerofoils and hydrofoils use their shape to guide the wind or water around them to generate the lifting force to get the planes or boats in the air. The double-skinned soft wing sail is our engine. The force it generates to move the boat at breakneck speeds is thrust. It works exactly the same way as an aircraft wing. It's just rotated to stand straight up rather than laid down flat. As the wind flows over the sail, it generates thrust in a forward direction. An aircraft needs an engine to push the air over its wings fast enough to lift it off the ground. The wing sail on our America's Cup race boat generates thrust from the natural wind blowing past it. The more the wind blows, the more we can catch to turn into thrust to push the boat forwards. When the boat's going fast enough, the hydrofoils will then be able to create lift to get the boat out of the water. And there you have it, the boat that flies.